What's going on, everybody? My name is John Paz.
And I am Harry, and this is episode 13 of Destination Talk with Paz and Harry. We come to you again from Chop Studios, located at 750 Route 34 in Matawan, New Jersey. And today we are honored to have Sam Kamara of the Cleveland Browns on in the studio with us. Sam is a graduate of Carteret High School. He went to Stony Brook University, and as I just mentioned, he is a current member of the Cleveland Browns. Sam, I haven't seen you since you left for camp in July. It's been a while. It's great to see you. I know a lot's gone on in your life since then, but how's everything going?
Everything's beautiful, man. New father.
Yes.
Still in Cleveland, you know. Just enjoying fatherhood, enjoying the off season, chilling with my lady. Yeah, man. I'm just enjoying it. I'm just enjoying everything that's coming with me.
No, that's great, and we'll get into a lot of other things too with regards to that. But you know, let's if we can expand a little bit more on, you know, a little bit more of a bio on yourself. Can you tell us a little bit more about yourself and you know, maybe interest or hobbies or anything like that as well?
Oh well, I'm Sam Kamara, like you said, Carteret High School is where it all started. Went to Stony Brook, excelled over there. I grew up with my two parents, my older brother, my younger brother. I'm the smack middle child. So you know what they say about the smack middle child. He's always the smartest, always the best, always going to be the greatest. So yeah, I know.
We wouldn't know that,
Chris, I know you're going to see this. So yeah,
we're both the oldest of our siblings, so okay. I guess we're not smart.
Yeah, but went to Stony Brook, excelled over there. Had a great time, met some great people. Then got fortunate enough to get a call by Chicago in 2021, spring of 2021. Went to rookie minicamp. Funny enough, I was one of those guys that went into rookie minicamp just to see how I would do. They didn't intend to keep me there. I balled out rookie minicamp. They kept me around. Training camp came around, balled out with that. Stayed around again, and got fortunate enough to play after week 3 or week 4 after Khalil got hurt. And the rest is, was it 4 years later?
4 years now.
4 years later, still around. So
I gotta add a little bit to that. A little funny story. So you mentioned Chris. Chris is your brother, and that's how we met.
Yep.
Because I was, I guess to some degree, I am training some of those guys that are playing. I was working with Chris, some of his teammates from St. Anselm, and somehow you came up in the conversation. It was around the holidays. And when he came back, you know, I approached him. We were talking about it. And I said, hey, listen, when the season's over, if your brother's around, I would love to stop in. You know, I would love to just meet him, pick his brain. If you would like to work out, that'd be even better. And he goes, I got you, coach. I'll take care of it. A couple of weeks go by. And this is funny. I'm in the facility. This was the old one, when the smaller one, not where we are now. And I'm just sitting on the boxes and I'm going through the workout. I'm waiting for the guys to come in, and the door opens. And this guy comes through the door. He's the first one. And I can't say, because this is a PG-13 podcast, I can't say what I whispered to myself at that moment. But use your favorite 4-letter word, and that's the word that probably came out. And I, you know, but like, I will say this. For about 10 seconds, I froze. Because I'm thinking to myself, I have a workout plan for college guys.
Yeah.
And not a guy currently who just got done 3 weeks ago playing for the Cleveland Browns.
Right.
And, you know, you unfreeze yourself right away, and you realize, hey, listen, you got to trust what you got. You got to be who you are, do your thing. And if he hates it, hopefully he'll tell you. And if he likes it, hopefully he'll tell you. And I mean, that was the winter of 23. That was January of 23.
Yeah.
And we've known each other since.
Yeah.
We've done some work together.
Yeah.
And here you are now on episode 13 of my podcast that I didn't even know I was going to be doing 2 years ago.
It's crazy where life takes you, right?
Yeah.
It is.
Insane, ain't it?
Yeah. So can you talk a little about how the offseason's been so far for you? Are there any goals you approach, you know, for getting ready for this next season?
All season's been good. Like I said, I'm a new dad now, so I'm just embracing my little one, enjoying the time with him. Because, you know, when the season's around, I'm barely home. I barely get to, like, be around. It's always, like, you know how football takes full control of my life at that point. You know what I mean? I got practice early in the morning, then I got meetings, and I got everything I got to do just to make sure that I'm ready to go for the game. But, yeah, all season been great. Goals. Goal is the same goal every year. I just look at every year as a big year.
Mhm.
So just try to plan accordingly for it. Make sure that my body's tuned up, ready to go. Make sure I meet with all the people that I got to make sure that everything works as it should, moves as it should,
Mhm.
feels as it should. So, that's really how the offseason going
Taking
right
care
now.
of your body.
Taking care of the body, man.
Mhm.
Taking care of the body.
Mhm.
Yeah, after 18, well, it's more than 18 weeks, but after 18 weeks of regular season play, you need some time to get that body back together.
Man, decompress.
Mhm.
Decompress. bro.
Absolutely. You didn't go to a traditional Power 4 college to play your college football.
No, not at all.
And I you could make the argument that, you didn't go to one of the top high schools either, so to speak, from a football perspective. So you go from a smaller high school football program, smaller college program. How does a guy like that find himself finishing his 4th year in the NFL?
Just keeping the main thing. I went into college. It's crazy enough because in high school, I really had no aspirations of playing college ball. It really dawned on me that I could do it. Well, like, how when you're in high school, there's always a kid that's really good. You're always like, that kid's going D1.
Mhm.
And you hear it so much, and I felt like it just like was thrown around so much that like I kind of, it was like, I hear it. And from Carteret High School, like, yeah, we weren't one of those top high schools, but we always had consistent players. Like a lot of guys that I say slipped through the cracks. You know what I'm saying? And it's no one's fault. You know what I mean? We just didn't have like, I love all my coaches and it's no fault of their own, but they just didn't have the knowledge and how to push them to get to the points that they needed to get to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I was fortunate enough to have my dad in my back. You know what I mean? So he just made sure that I kept making the main thing. So funny enough, it was junior year. My dad always asked me for my transcript. Just kept asking me. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get it. Don't worry. Like, he's just like, I just want to see your grades. I'm like, all right, yeah, I'm gonna get it. I just knew my grades were bad at the point. So I was like, I gotta do everything in my power to make sure that he does not see this right now. And then Old Dominion came to see me at practice, and I just remember walking out to practice, and everybody's like huddled up. And they're like, yo, Sam. I'm like, what's up? I'm like, yo, that guy's here to watch you practice. I'm like, watch me? Why? Like, he's like, I don't know, but he's Old Dominion University. Like, that's a D1 school. And I'm like, oh, shoot. That's when it hit me like, oh, wow, D1 school wants to see me. And then I talked to him, and he was like, I'm literally here to offer you, but I see your transcript, and I can't because your grades. And that was like a shot in the heart. I'm like, damn.
Was that a light bulb moment at that point?
Yeah, at that point, it was just like, damn. So, like, you can't do one without the other.
Right.
You have to do school in order to play like college ball, you know what I mean?
Right.
Or college sports in general,
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you need it. Like, so after that, I just remember going back, talking to my dad, telling him how school came to see me, and he just like jumped out the bed, like, really? Like, so what they say? And I broke it down to him, like, yeah, he said he was gonna offer me. He's like, and I'm like, he didn't. He's like, why? I was like, he said my grades were bad. He was like, your grades were. Didn't I ask you for your transcript? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, tomorrow, you're getting it. I want to see it. I'm like, so I got it to him, and literally my senior year, whole junior year went by, I balled out. I went crazy. Got to the state final. Unfortunately, we didn't do it, but things happen. So senior year came around, and my dad seen my transcript again, and it wasn't up to par how it should have been. And he literally pulled me out of training camp, high school training camp. He pulled me out for 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks, and he did not allow me to go there. He called Coach Yasko, who was my head coach at the time, told him, like, if Sam goes there, make sure you send him back home. And I was just like, my dad's like, you're not going. And my dad worked during the day, so I'm like, he wouldn't even know. So as soon as I got there, Coach Yasko was like, you got to leave. I'm like, leave? He's like, yeah, it's not happening. Your dad said no, so no's a no. Until you get your grades up, you're not coming back here. I'm like, damn. All right, well, guess we got to do this. And senior year, like, I was training so hard because once I knew a school was looking at me, I knew that, like, they come in bunches. Right. So when one comes, there's like a million others looking. So I was like, all right, I got to train hard. I went from 210 to 250. I was jacked. I was playing running back. I was playing D-line.
We found out you played special teams, which I didn't know about that either. Till 10 minutes
crazy
ago.
Enough, I played special teams in high school. I forgot that I did that too. But yeah, and then I got my grades up. My dad pulled me back in, and I just balled senior year. Unfortunately, we didn't have the season we wanted to, but I just balled, did what I did, got to Stony Brook, and my freshman year, got hurt. I got hurt over there. Just like the same thing, try to keep the main thing. Once I got to the level, I'm like, okay, maybe I got a chance of doing this NFL stuff, you know? I got hurt during training camp. I was balling during training camp, even while I was hurt. They just threw me in the sully. I had torn my labrum, threw me in the sully. I was in there balling, doing my thing, and got hurt at the end of training camp again. Then they sat me for 3 weeks, and they told me, like, now you have an option. Like, you can keep playing the rest of your freshman year, or we could just sit you, redshirt you the entire year. Mm-hmm. And the way they made it seem is like I was in such a position to play. Like, as soon as you, like, if you're good, you're playing. Right. If you're not, we're just gonna redshirt you. And I was just like, I couldn't pass up the opportunity to play. You know what I mean? So I hopped in there, I played. I did my thing my freshman year. Sophomore year came around, had a little bit of a sophomore slump. It was what it was. I kind of started questioning football a little bit. It's just, I don't know what it was. I felt like I kind of lost track or lost the vision that I had for myself. And I feel like as a college athlete, everybody tends to have those little slumps where they start to doubt their ability a little bit, this, that, and the third. But I remember coming into junior year, still just like, I don't know how I feel about football, this, that, and the third. And literally, like, it's the dumbest thing that flipped the switch for me, but it's like, it just set a fire in me. We were doing a media day, and the media guy was taking my photo, and then they usually, like, you know, they take videos of the guys for when they get first down, sacks, all of that good stuff. Mm-hmm. So, like, he's like, all right, Sam, you can come in here and do yours. And I'm like, and I'm going to do it. He's like, do one for a sack. Matter of fact, that's if you even get a sack this year. And then I was like, literally, my head went back just how it did just now. And I was like, all right, bet. Mm-hmm. And ended up finishing the season with 11.5 sacks. And then bet
that guy never said that again.
Yeah, that was the last time he ever said that. He's like, ooh. Yeah, and then everything after that was, that's when I knew teams started looking at me heavy. And then my actual senior year, I got hurt, tore my pec. It was Rhode Island game. I remember being out that entire week. That was the same week that my older cousin had died. I was out the whole week. Didn't know the game plan, not even a lick. Came back. My coach was asking me if I wanted to play. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna play. Like, might as well. You know what I mean? I'm here, so I might as well. And literally, I kid you not, I had the best game of my entire Stony Brook career that game. I had 2.5 sacks, 4.5 TFLs, game-ending sack. And literally on that last play, I went to throw my hand up to celebrate, and my pec was torn. So after that sidelined me for the rest of the season, and that was a real roller coaster for me too, because like when it comes to college ball, after a certain point, you have until a certain amount of games until you can redshirt somebody. Right. So I was at that cutoff point. So they wanted it. They didn't know if I would be back next year or if this is where your college career ends. And I knew that I had aspirations to play NFL. So I was like, damn, I have a torn pec. How's that going to affect me? You know what I mean? Because nobody's going to want somebody that has a torn pec if he can't even come in and showcase himself. So I'm like, damn, bro, what am I going to do? My coach P at the time, he had just told me, like, you know what I mean? Like, we could try to make something happen where we could bring you back. There's no guarantee, but it could happen. Mm-hmm. And I was just in there. I just remember going into the weight room. I'm in a sling. And my strength coach, I wish I had Vinny's number. I'll call Vinny right now. I'm in there with the sling. And I'm on the floor pressing like 150s with one arm. And he's like, what the fuck are you doing? Pardon my language.
We're good.
And he said, what the hell are you doing? I'm like, bro, I got to train, bro. He's like, you're in a sling. I'm literally like this with the sling in my arm and the other one on the floor. He's like, bro, what are you doing? I'm like, bro, I don't know what's going to happen, but I got to train for something. Mm-hmm. I have to train. If this is going to be the end of my career, I'm going to make sure that this arm is strong as shit for when this arm comes back. And if I have another year, bro, I'm hitting the floor rolling. I'm going to hit the floor rolling. Mm-hmm. And what was it, 2 weeks later, coach was like, hey, so we got you back for next year. And I'm like, bet. Came back, spring ball, tweaked, balled out, and then rolled right into rookie minicamp. And 4 years later, I'm here. So, I just kept the main thing, you know what I mean? After I just knew I had a vision for myself to continue to be at that next level, continue to be that guy, continue to just keep going, I just try to keep the main thing, keep it simple, not too complex. You know what I mean? Right. You came in here on a mission, so stay on that mission. And And I feel like a lot of guys, like once they get to college, they get caught up in everything that's going around.
Right.
Not saying you can't have your fun, you can.
Mhm.
It's very like that's college, you know what I mean? You're only gonna be there once, have your fun, but always keep the main thing the main thing.
I think that's the
Always keep the main
quote of
thing the main
the
thing.
thing.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
keep
the
the main
theme.
thing the main
That's
thing.
the theme on this
I
one.
like that. I like that. So, what would you say some of the biggest challenges are being a professional athlete in the NFL?
A lot, you know what I mean? A lot comes with being in the NFL. You know, you got a lot more eyes on you, a lot more pressure on you because now you're at the grandest stage. You know what I mean? You're playing against everybody's fast, everybody's strong. You know what I mean? It's not like college where it's like, all right, you got a couple guys that are fast, a couple guys that are strong. Now it's like you're in that pot where everybody is strong and everybody is somewhat fast. You know what I mean? So I even had a reality shock when my rookie year, first preseason game, I'm like, all right, like, you know what I mean? We practice against a bunch of guys for a couple times. You know what I mean? You get used to practicing against the same guys over and over again. So I'm like, it's going to be the same thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Get down in my stance. Quarterback says hike. I get out of my stance, and the old lineman flew past me. I'm like, oh, like, pardon my language. Oh shit! Like, they're fast as hell.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So I'm like, all right, yeah, I got to start picking it up. And I just remember running. It was I want to say it was a drop back pass. I'm rushing the edge, and the running back came out of nowhere, chipped the hell out of me. I'm talking about hit me in my ribs. That's probably the first time I got put down. Like that was.
And
the
this
first,
was in a practice?
No, this was in a preseason game.
Preseason game.
Yeah.
Okay.
You would have thought that I like me and him had beef. The
Right.
way he chipped me, I was like, oh my god. And I remember coming to the sideline. My friends at the time, Caleb, was like, he was like, bro, you and the running back, like y'all know each other? I'm like, bro, I don't know him from a hole in the wall. He said, bro, why did he chip you like that? I'm like, bro, I don't know. I don't know. Like, but yeah. The league, like,
Rookie Hazen, maybe.
Welcome to the NFL.
Welcome to the league.
It might have been. Welcome to the league, rookie. Yeah, it might have been one of those. But yeah, bro, it's a lot of pressure that comes with just.
So
being in the
your
league.
position is D end, although you played a lot more D tackle this year. Is that correct?
You could just call me a D lineman.
D lineman.
You can
Okay.
just call me a D lineman.
So I have to ask, in a sense, you one of your teammates who lines up next to you most of the time, one of the best in the game.
MG.
What's it like playing alongside a two-time defensive player of the year? Like,
Bruh.
what impact does a guy like that have on your career?
So Miles is great, bro. Like since I walked in the doors of the facility, Miles has been nothing but humble, like great guy. Like you would think like a guy like that would have some type of like ego to him,
Right.
you know what I mean? Kind of like not really want to talk to anybody, everybody, but like he talked to me like I was a superstar. I'm like, oh shoot,
Right.
this guy's cool. Like, you know what I mean? Just chopping it up with me and Miles, like, we play Call of Duty together. I FaceTime Miles out the blue, like, bro, what's going on, man? What's up, bro? Like, you know, Miles is just a great dude, bro. Like, and he's a freak of nature when it comes to football, bro. Like, I've never seen somebody so stocky and built move like a DB. Like, he's like so fluid with movement. Nothing, he wastes no steps, no wasted movement. He's like, I can't even fathom the stuff that he does. Like, prime example, we had a practice. They were running, I want to say a toss play, right? Snapped the ball. Miles flew off the ball. Before the quarterback can toss the ball out, Miles is already at Nick's face like this. And we're all just like, what the hell? How the hell did he do that?
Right.
And it's like, literally, you have a how the hell did he do that moment every single time in practice. Like, he has at least two of them in practice.
Well, I would say, Miles, he's saying some wonderful things about you. And when you do see this, we'd love to have you on Destination Talk.
MG.
Just reach out to him. He knows how to get a hold of me. We'll set it up. But
so can you walk us through what the typical game day looks like?
Typical game day for me, so I wake up in the morning. I'm not a big, like, I don't eat before games. I just can't, like, I want my stomach feeling empty. I feel like if I eat, then I have to use the bathroom, and then I feel heavy, and then I don't want to do all that. And I don't feel like using the bathroom before a game, because then I feel like I didn't really use the bathroom how I wanted to. You know, so now it's like I'm
that's
like,
a real issue.
No,
that's real. That's a real issue.
Oh, I know.
So I'm just in there on an empty stomach. You know what I mean? I'm keeping my mind like as sharp as possible. I make sure that I lay my clothes out. You know what I mean? I make sure I'm fresh to death. when I walk through that tunnel. Make sure it's fresh. Gotta make sure it's fresh. I gotta reiterate that. Make sure it's fresh.
Your threads look pretty good.
I'm trying. You know what I mean? I'm trying.
I know you're working with. You want to give him a shout out? Please go ahead.
So Halo, shout out to you because you helped me down. My boy Evan, shout out to you. You helped me down too. And a couple of them fits was me. So shout out Sam. Sam, you did your thing. But yeah, you know, I try to just make sure that like I feel good, look good, play good. You know what I mean? Kind of on some Deion Sanders stuff. But so I kind of like walk through there, make sure that I'm good, feel good. It's crazy enough that I used to try to think of the game not too much of what it is because I just thought of it as like a practice with more people.
Right.
And like it worked for me, but it also didn't work for me because I felt like I moved well, but I didn't take the game as serious as I should have. You know what I'm saying? And then I talked to our new D-line coach, Jock. I'm not gonna lie, Jock is probably like, he gives me the vibe of what my old high school coach, Coach Farrar, was like. Shout out to Coach Farrar too, because he built this beast. Like he instilled a lot of this like mental toughness in me. But Jock is just like, he makes me want to go out there and go crazy. Like, you know what I mean? Because he just like, he keeps telling me, because I try to, like, I'm a humble guy. I don't like, you know what I mean, popping too much of my stuff, you know what I'm saying? But he made me realize, like, you think of the game not what it is, you got to think of the game what it is. Because in all actuality, like, the game is a big thing. One play, one moment, one anything could be the deciding factor in something. You know what I'm saying? So you got to approach this game as if it's like the biggest game of your career.
And people's jobs are on the line.
Absolutely.
On those one plays.
No, for real. That's real. And he's just like, bro, you play good, but you need to play better. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not saying you're a bad player by any means, but I just want you to play better. And then once we kind of sat down and talked about it, I was like, that makes sense. And you can see, like, in those last couple games, like, I played a lot more focused, thought of the game of what it was, but still played free how I felt to play free. You know what I mean? So, like, I'll be out there just, you know what I mean? I'm not a big go out before the game to warm up type of guy. I like to sit in the locker room, collect my thoughts, stay focused, stay locked in, get stretched, and then, you know, hit the ground running. So,
would you say the game slowed down for you in those last, say, like 4 or 5 weeks of the season?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I felt like it was more so on some, like, I thought of the game as, like Jock said, made the game exactly what it was. I made it seem like it's the biggest game of my career because in all actuality for me, like, I sat on the couch for 5 weeks. And when I did get to the Cleveland Browns, I hit the Cleveland Browns like I was a freight train. And everybody was like, damn, bro, you're in here like you're trying to win somebody's spot. And then in all actuality, like, well, I love everybody. That is the truth, right? But I am, you know what I mean? And yes, I've been in there and I've been doing the same thing ever since. And so I kind of like played free, kept the game like this is the biggest game of my career because at any point you could be back on the couch. Right. At any point. The NFL is ruthless. You know what I mean? It's a great game, but it's also very ruthless. You know what I mean? It has no sympathy for anybody.
Yeah. And I think that's a good lead into the next question. You know, there are a lot of ups and downs and ebbs and flows. Yeah. And I know even this year too. I mean, you know, 53-man roster, practice squad. Yeah. 53 practice squad. You know, and throughout the course of the season, we connected a few times and talking about that. And so how do you handle there's a lot of emotional and mental to that. Yeah. So how do you handle the ups and the downs when stuff like that's happening?
It's gonna be cliche to say, but I kept the main thing the main thing.
No, I mean,
you know what I mean. I just you know what I mean. I just knew that
you trust the process,
trust the process, and just keep training how you train because just like in college, you were hurt, you didn't know what could happen, and it ended up falling in your favor. So now I kind of look at everything as like if you keep training hard, you never know what could happen. And there's a what if it doesn't work out, but there's also a what if it falls in your favor. And if it falls in your favor, you were ready for it. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I just kept doing everything that I did. Didn't change up anything.
My dad used to say to me, when opportunity knocks, kick the door in.
Yeah. That's what you got to do. Yeah, especially in the NFL, because there's like a lot of the older guys tell me this too. Like when you get to a certain point in the NFL, like when you get your shot, you got to make sure that you hit your shot and you kill it. Like you leave an impression, because if you don't, there is no telling if you're getting that opportunity again. Right. And if you do get that opportunity again, you better not mess up that second time. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I just made sure that every time that I got an opportunity, I made the most of that opportunity.
So how do you balance professional and personal life being a NFL football player? How do you balance that? You
know, it's a challenge, you know, because like like we said, like the NFL is very demanding.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they ask a lot of you. You got to eat right. You got to have your body in shape. You got to make sure that you're doing this, but you also got to make sure that you're training. But also take that time off because it's the off season. But don't take too much time off because we're coming right back soon. So you know, it's kind of hard, but we kind of found a way to figure it all out. Me and my fiance, you know, we take trips. You know, what I mean, we love on each other. You know, we try to make sure that we take some time for ourselves. Get out of town, do a little something. This year we didn't because we're fresh with the baby. So, you know, we didn't get the chance to really like go on a vacation, stuff of that nature as much as we like to. We do dates, you know what I mean, just to try to keep the intimacy between us. Cause you know, once you get a child, it gets a lot more challenging because a lot of things stop revolving around you two and it starts revolving around the baby because, you know, they don't know much. They can't do much.
They need you.
They need you.
They need you. Yeah, that's
you know what I mean?
a fact.
They need everything you do helps them. So, you know, we kind of try to take some time away from the baby. We're actually going to go on a date Sunday. So we're going to try to, you know what I mean? It's challenging. It's definitely a challenging thing.
Is Chris going to come down to watch the baby? Or
I wish. But
well, he's a little busy right now.
Yeah, he's busy right now. But yeah, it's definitely challenging. But I found a way to kind of manage it out.
Gotcha.
I'm interested in this to a certain degree because, you know, I've seen it a little bit with John, but the media, you know, it's part of the job that you have to deal with. And so, you know, how do you handle the aspect of talking to the media, especially when you know everyone has an opinion?
It's kind of sound messed up to say, but I don't really care for much of an opinion from most people.
Right.
I kind of just do me. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be one of those guys in the media that's going crazy, talking flippant through the mouth, but I just do me. I just be me. Like, I don't really try to change up too much of who I am. Like, you know what I mean? I'll give a little bit more excitement when it comes to the camera a little bit, but other than that, you know, I just be me.
If I'm not mistaken, did you guys not have the AFC North had an in-season Hard Knocks, if I'm not mistaken?
We did.
I watched that.
Well, I can't say I did. I'll admit that. Well, because I'm not a Steelers fan like you are.
Yeah, sorry.
But
sorry.
I knew I didn't like him. I knew it.
I didn't want to say it. Like,
well, I was going to make sure. Yeah, I was going to make sure that got out there. Might try to tackle you before we leave. So how was that experience? How was that experience?
Hard Knocks was cool. We kind of it was cool, but it's like you kind of didn't realize that they were there like until we're in the meeting. And so they have a camera like, so in this room they'll have a camera like right there, probably behind me, and then like another one probably like behind like the coach's desk, and you won't really realize it's there till like, so Hard Knocks can control the camera. They have a whole station set up outside of our whole facility, and they control the cameras. So we'll be talking this, that, and third, and somebody be talking, and all I hear is and I'm like, oh snap! I forgot y'all were here. So like, yeah, so it was cool. It was definitely dope. Definitely a fun experience. It got a lot of guys the opportunity to really showcase their character. Gave a lot of people insight of how everything works within our 4 teams, you know.
Right.
But yeah, it was pretty dope. Pretty dope.
Well, I'm sure I can find it. I can go back and look for it.
Did you have a role model or a coach that left an impact on you?
I had a lot. My one coach that I'll continue to say that he built this beast, Coach Farrar. He's my D-line coach in high school. Man, he was a guy. He was definitely a character. Any person that knows Coach Farrar knows that he was one of a kind, like truly one of a kind. Like, he did not take any soft mess. He does not like soft stuff. He doesn't like, he's a man's man. And when I say that, I mean that in every sense of the word. I remember one time in practice, like, so we had a whole lot of geese, a whole lot of duck around Carteret High School, right? So like on our field, it'd be a whole lot of like shit, you know what I mean? So like, you know, there's shit all over the field. And we're all like, damn, bro, we don't want to sit here, man. Coach, come on, can we move over to the other side? He said, move over to the other side for what? And we're like, come on, the ducks, you know, there's shitting everywhere. Like, we got to sit in this, stretching this, and then we got to practice and touch each other. And like, you worried about some shit? He went down, grabbed the shit, mushed it in his hand, and threw it. And I'm like, yo, Coach is insane.
Yeah, that's a different coach, kind of person right there.
Coach Keith is another guy who I hold it down to. Coach Keith, that whole coaching staff was great. Coach Keith went up to Farrar. He's like, yeah, I don't give a damn about that shit either. He's like, shake my hand. And then they just shook hands. And we're like, what's wrong with y'all? They're like, get down and stretch. And we're like, all right, guess we don't got a choice. But yeah, Coach Farrar is definitely one of those guys that I believe was, he helped me like tremendously. And he was one of those guys that once he sees something in you, he's going to do his best to make sure that he gets the most out of you.
Pull everything out.
Oh my God. He makes sure that you are the player that he wants you to be and the one that he sees you to be. Every single D lineman that he's had was a stud, a stud. I mean that in every sense of the word. There's so much studs at the D line position out of Carteret High School that I don't even consider myself one of the best. And there were so many guys that were far beyond my skill that Coach Farrar had produced. You know, Coach Farrar is a guy. Coach Yasko's another guy. He was one of the guys that he's my first real head coach, and he really he believed in me as well. Like he always told me like, you know what I mean? Like, you're gonna be one of those guys that I believe could get out of Carteret High School and be far beyond college ball, far beyond everything else. I firmly believe that you could do that. And I'm young. I didn't really think much of it. But as I got older, I started like thinking back on it and appreciating that because he's seen it before I seen it. Right. You know what I mean? Not when I had the belief in myself, but he had that belief in me before anybody else. You know what I mean? Shoot, I could thank damn near every single coach that I met, really, because everybody helped pave the way, you know what I mean, help along the way in some way, shape, or form to make me who I am, you know what I mean, be in the league 4 years later, going on 5. So
yeah, going to be 5 pretty soon. Any one moment stand out to you in your 4 years in the league that, you know, that sitting here today, you could say, hey, you know, like that one's memorable?
There's too many to talk about, man. I feel like every single moment being in them buildings and meeting with those guys, I've been fortunate enough to have a lot of great rooms. You know what I mean? My first year in the league, I was with Khalil Mack.
Right.
And that's insane because I'm like, damn, Khalil Mack. Like, bro, we're in a Zoom and then I see Khalil Mack's name come up and he's in there just like, I'm like, holy. I had a screenshot and sent it to my friends like, bro, this is Khalil Mack, bro. And they're like, bro, that's insane. So, like, I was with Khalil. I was with Rob Quinn. And he was another guy who was just like, he was so great, bro. He was like he's an old soul, but he was just like, he just gave me game. Him, Khalil. Who else did I have in there? I had Akeem Hicks, great guy. Who else did I have? I had Bilal Nichols. I had my dog Justin Jones. Who else did I have? Eddie Goldman. Then I came to Cleveland. I had Jadavon Clowney. I had Myles Garrett. Bro, I had, like, the list goes on and on. I got Shelby Harris. I got Dalvin Tomlinson. Like, you know what I mean? And being in Obo Okoronkwo, like, you know what I mean? Obo, sorry if I butchered your last name. But, you know what I mean? But, like, you know, I was fortunate enough to be in a room with a whole bunch of guys who I feel like, you know what I mean, contributed to my success in some way, shape, or form.
Making you who you are.
You know what I mean? Whether it be a talk, whether it be a pointer. You know what I mean? You could do this a little different. Stuff of that nature. I just felt like they all contributed to that. You know what I mean? And there was so many great moments that has been within those NFL walls that I had with all these guys that, like, I couldn't even tell you one. You know what I mean? I could tell you a funny one, which when we had rookie dinner in LA. That was hilarious. And we gave them a check and it was damn near $89,000. It wasn't really $89,000. But they thought it was like, damn, it was like 89 or 100,000. They're like, oh my God. I just remember our rookie Siaki Ika. That's my dog too. He was like, bro, what did I do? I thought I was a good rookie. I thought I was good. But the check ended up being like 30,000 or something like that, and most of the vets ended up chipping in, so they didn't really have to pay too much. But yeah,
so the rookies really don't pay the full bill, or is that just you guys were nice that day?
I mean, I can't speak for everywhere else. I can't speak for everywhere else, but our guys, we don't do that. Like we let them pay something, but we don't make them pay the entirety of everything.
So how do you see the NFL evolving in the future? And if you could suggest 1 or 2 changes to better the game, what might those be?
Ain't no telling, honestly and truly. I couldn't even tell you where I could see the NFL going.
Well, you're definitely going overseas a lot more.
Oh yeah. We're definitely going to expand. That. I know that for sure. We're expanding. We're playing everywhere.
You're playing overseas next year. Yeah,
playing in London. Season. Yeah, we're playing in London. Sometime in October. I believe it's going to be the end of October, but don't hold me to it. But
I don't think it's been made official yet.
No, it's official that we're playing in London.
You are, but they haven't put the date.
Yeah, we don't got no date.
I don't think you know who you're playing yet.
Not a clue.
Yeah,
couldn't even tell you. But I can see us expanding across across everywhere, man. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be surprised if in the next 2 years we're playing in like Japan or like Tokyo or Hawaii.
You're going to Australia. Well, the league's going to Australia in 2026.
Yeah, that's going to be tough. That's going to be tough.
Yeah, Ireland too. I think there's a game in Ireland
too.
Yeah, Ireland's this
How y'all getting this scoop before me?
That's Pittsburgh's playing Ireland. That's how I know.
That's why.
Makes sense.
Yeah, well, I mean, you got the London games. There's the game in Germany. There's a game in Spain, if I'm not mistaken. I heard Mexico City, but I don't know if that's true or not because it was a stadium issue still.
Yeah, probably. And then, I can see that happening though. I can definitely see that happening.
Yeah, and then Australia, that's coming up in 2026.
Ain't no telling what NFL.
That's going to be interesting to see how they do that though, because I was having a conversation about that. You know, they're like 16, 18 hours ahead of us in time, and you know, how the league's going to figure that one out by when do you send the team there, and do they have a bye? And obviously they have to have a bye coming out of that, but how does a team play on a Sunday and then have to fly to Australia and play the following Sunday?
Yeah. How do they, what time of the day do you play? So you
because that's a whole nother, because it's like,
they're going to try to set it up in a way where we can watch it over here. But
it's going to have to be.
Time change.
Time change is going to be a killer.
That's going to be brutal.
That's going to be
a brutal change.
Yeah. So if you had the opportunity today with what you know now, what advice would you offer the younger version of yourself?
Younger version of myself, don't doubt yourself, brother. Don't doubt yourself, because like I keep saying this, like it gives me chills talking about it right now. But like coach, all my coaches seeing that in me when I didn't see that in myself was like, that was the thing. Like all that doubt that you had in yourself, don't doubt yourself, brother, because you have it in you. You got that dog in you, brother. Like you're gonna succeed far beyond your imagination. You just gotta believe. And once you believe, that's all the belief that you truly need. Everybody can believe in you all they want to, but that ultimately is gonna do nothing if you don't believe in yourself. You know what I mean? So once you do believe in yourself, and once you figure that out, you're gonna be something great. You're gonna be something great. So
you've just completed your 4th year in the league. You're going into your 5th.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm saying this out of tune. It's an important year for you.
Every year's important.
Yep.
But every year's important.
How do you stay motivated?
Main thing. I just look at every single season like it's the most important season of my life. You know what I mean? Every year is a prove year for me. I'd never in the league yet have had anything guaranteed to me. Right. I haven't had any money, anything guaranteed to me. Coming out of training camp, never was a guarantee that I'd be there next year. Never a guarantee that I'd make the 53. So if I just keep all those things in the back of my head and just go in there and just light it up how I light it up, because, you know what I mean, it's never guaranteed. And the average span for the league is, 3 years? I'm on year 4.
And you've passed it.
I beat it by 1. You know what I mean? That 1 could mean nothing, but that 1 could also mean a lot. And I'm going to make sure that it means a lot. So I'm just going to keep hitting the ground rolling. And, you know what I mean, keep that main thing the main thing. So
it's the quote of this.
To make sure Aaron gets that one down.
Yeah, definitely. So lastly, we always ask all of our guests, what advice would you give any athlete aspiring to play at the NFL or any level of the next level of sport?
Just keep pushing, bro. Keep pushing, because you never know what could happen if you just keep going. You know what I mean? You could probably be sitting down one day and really thinking like, man, this will never happen, man. This shit will never break. You know what I mean? You know, and that one time that you're thinking of quitting, you could have gave that little bit of that little push could have been that one little push that got you to the point where you're on the road to where you want to be. Like if you want to be at the highest level, you got to make sure that you keep that vision. I'm gonna keep saying it. You got to keep that main thing the main thing. You want to get there, make sure that you're tunnel vision there. I'm not saying you don't have fun. You know what I mean? Life's about having fun, enjoying it. You know what I mean? But also keep that main thing the main thing. You also want to remember where you're trying to go, where you're trying to be, and why you're trying to get there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? Just keep that tunnel vision, but also like enjoy life, and keep pushing, bro. Just keep pushing. You got to.
Keep the main thing the main thing.
Got to keep the main thing the main thing.
I like that. I do.
Got to keep the main thing the main thing.
Yeah, I know. On a personal level, this meant a lot to me. Having you here today, you know, you talked about people believing in you, you know, and I would say there are 2 individuals sitting at this table who have put their faith and trust in me, in what I do, because, you know, as I said earlier, you know, when I saw you walk through that door, I'll even say when I was introduced to John, and I'm like, they want me to train a wrestler. I'm like, how do I do that? You know, and you know, you find a way.
Right.
And so, you know, I'm honored to have not that I've known you now for 2 years. I'm honored to consider you a friend.
Absolutely.
And you have, what I've always liked about the relationship we've had is you've always kept it real.
Yeah.
And you know, I go back to that one morning we got together in last summer prior to you leaving, and you know, just you taking the time out of your day to offer your insight on what was going on. And so, you know, for that personally, I want to say thank you.
Absolutely.
You know, I appreciate that. The friendship has been great. You know, I'm not a Cleveland Browns fan per se. I'm a Sam Kamara fan.
I'll take it.
But you know, and I've had the opportunity to work with your brother. We brought Chris up, but I think we'd be doing an injustice to I like to refer to him as Little Sam. Don't take it the wrong way, but you know, because you know, Big Sam, Little Sam. But you know, I mean, but you know, he, you know, and I'll listen. It speaks. You know, you guys are all wonderful people, and I think I should include this. When I went up to see your brother play this past fall, Franklin Pierce, where cousin Sam, yeah. Where cousin Sam
it's
plays.
A million of us.
They were on a bye.
Yeah.
And you know, Franklin Pierce isn't too far away from where St. Anselm is. Yeah. And Sam drove down to the game, you know, obviously to see Chris.
Yeah.
But to also come and say hello to me.
Yeah.
And you know, that spoke volumes to his character, to who he was as a person.
Yeah. Shout out Sam James too.
And yeah, I've never met him, but you know, I've heard of him. And you know, and just, you know, your family is just wonderful people.
Right.
And I'm forever grateful to the just the kind words and everything you guys have done to help me, you know, pursue my career.
Absolutely.
As well. And you know, with that, Sam, we want to thank you very much for coming in,
no doubt,
being a part of this
Destination
Talk thing.
No doubt, man.
That's a wrap on episode 13 of Destination Talk with Paz and Harry. Until we see you again.